What's up guys, MBG here again with another video. Thank you for taking time to check it out. I really appreciate the support. We have some very interesting PlayStation rumors and news to go over in this video today. Now, the rumors we're going to cover are specifically focusing on new PlayStation hardware, not just a PlayStation 5 Pro, but apparently a new handheld from PlayStation has been greenlit. And I'm definitely excited to share this with you because I know that there are a lot of PlayStation fans who are just praying Sony does something more in the handheld console space. So we're going to go over all that information, but we're also going to talk a little bit more at the end of this video about Haven Studio, the latest PlayStation acquisition, because it seems that they may be teasing potentially a little bit of their new game over on their website with some new concept art. So before we dive into these topics today, guys, do me a big favor. Be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and show your support. It really helps the videos out more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. So I'm going to be reading this article from WCCF Tech to go over this information. This article, I do want to mention, does not really focus much on the PlayStation handheld console that was apparently greenlit, so I'm going to talk about that after we go over this info. So this is reading from WCCF Tech, and it says, according to a new rumor by Red Gaming Tech, the PlayStation 5 Pro iteration of the console will be released by 2024. Not only that, but it will bring several improvements over the base version when it comes to various technologies such as its ray tracing capabilities and performance. And the article states here that we should be careful with this. It is all rumor territory and we have to take it with a grain of salt. And obviously I want to emphasize, do not run with this. We do not know if it's true. Regardless of how plausible it sounds, we are going to have to wait until we hear something official. But nonetheless, I do think that this is still very interesting information. Even Red Gaming Tech on his channel makes it clear that we need to be careful with everything here. Now it says here, according to the rumor by Red Gaming Tech, this new iteration of the PS5 console will become available by the end of 2023 / sometime in 2024. It brings a 2x performance in standard raster and 2.5 times in ray tracing over the vanilla version and will be designed to provide a better experience with PlayStation VR titles. The console is also stated to use advanced reconstruction techniques. Red Gaming Tech clarifies that the techniques will not be the same as AMD's FSR2, but will be based on Sony's own research. The system will also use TSMC's 5nm process. This process is primarily utilized by Zen 4 cores and is designed for high-performance computing. However, another source told Red Gaming Tech that TSMC's 4nm process could be the one used instead, aka the process found on Apple's M2 SoC. And they continue by saying, coincidentally, the timing of this rumor matches that of the recent release of a console prototype shipment. The company sent thousands of dev kits from all over the world to Oakland, California, according to Tweaktown. These dev kits are presumably modified PS5 systems specifically for software creators. And I thought that this was very interesting as well because we did recently highlight that, and a lot of people were thinking that, hey, that prototype hardware shipment was PSVR 2, but that doesn't make any sense because PSVR 2 is no longer in the prototype stage. So it has to be something else, and it's likely related to the PlayStation 5. A lot of people were thinking maybe a PS5 Slim, but again, hearing about the rumored PS5 Pro, it does make you wonder, could Sony be sending this stuff out this early? It's hard to say. It does seem a bit too soon, and I know that a lot of people are not really keen on the idea of talking about a PS5 Pro right now because a PS5 as is hard to come by, and it feels like it hasn't really even been out for that long. But that's not going to change the fact that Sony is absolutely, as I said, going to pursue a PS5 Pro. I know that there are people making an argument that it's just not needed, but make no mistake, Sony will be doing a PS5 Pro this generation, and I think that all you really have to do, as I said, is look at how successful the PS4 Pro was, on top of the fact that Xbox is also going to pursue new hardware. We will be getting a mid-gen console refresh. I'm extremely confident in that. But focusing on some of the details we got here, I also want to point out that it says here 2.5 times performance when it comes to ray tracing over the base PS5. what did we just talk about a couple of weeks ago? A new patent that was filed by Mark Cerny, where it specifically focused on ray tracing. And it was pointed out by Digital Foundry that this patent for ray tracing was not for the PS5, but for another iteration of PlayStation hardware. It's very obvious that this is for the PS5 Pro. Some people were thinking the PlayStation 6, but that seems unlikely at this point in time, although it could be possible. But with all of this being said, some people are going to feel annoyed that we're even talking about a PS5 Pro at this point in time, which I think is completely understandable because we are not even 2 full years into the life cycle of the PS5 and we're already talking about the next version of it. But what I think people need to understand is that even though we are hearing this stuff right now and we're beginning to talk about it, this hardware is likely a good 2 years away. Even if it does come in 2023, it won't be coming till the very end of 2023, like November, or possibly, as it says here, not even until early 2024. So if you're somebody who is happy with the PS5 and you're looking forward to see what more we can get out of the PS5, and you're somebody who is maybe wondering, hey, maybe I should just wait for PS5 Pro. Again, if you choose to do that, you're likely going to be waiting a couple more years. Maybe for some people, that's not going to be a big deal, but that's something you have to keep in mind before you kind of get into that mindset of, well, this is dumb, we shouldn't even be talking about this. This is just a rumor again, but to me, all signs point to Sony pursuing a PS5 Pro, and frankly, I would be okay with that. You know, I would not mind buying a PS5 Pro if that means, you know what, I can get native 4K resolution at 60 frames per second with, you know, a significant amount of ray tracing implementation versus what we have now, which is still great, but we have to kind of choose between all of those different things. And I think that having a piece of hardware that could maybe get very, very, very close to achieving all three at one time for most games, that would be pretty cool. But let me know your thoughts about that. We are going to move on and talk about what Red Gaming Tech had to say about this handheld PlayStation console. Now, this in particular, he did emphasize that things could change. Obviously, this is very early in development, but they are apparently targeting to get this handheld console out by 2024, and they want it to work in conjunction with PlayStation VR 2, but he doesn't really know exactly to what extent, and I do think that sounds interesting. But it sounds like what we are hearing is Sony wants to have a PS5 Pro, they're going to have PSVR 2, and they are now also pursuing a handheld. Apparently, Sony decided to pursue this as early as 2020. That's when they really started to take it seriously, and they're not doing it as kind of a response to everything else that's going on, even though it seems like that would be the reason why. Apparently, it's just something Sony wants to do, but you have to imagine that Sony is looking around right now at the success of something like the Nintendo Switch, and especially now with the Steam Deck, seeing that you can get AAA games, some of which are PlayStation Studio games, in a handheld form factor. And you have to imagine even Microsoft at this point is probably pursuing something of their own. It just makes sense that Sony would do this. And my whole thing with this, I do believe it. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Sony pursues some type of handheld. It would actually surprise me more at this point in time if they decide to just do nothing with it, because that doesn't make any sense. But my hope for this, and I think that this is the only way Sony could do it properly, is if they do a PSP 2 or whatever they want to call it, PS Vita 2, who knows what they're going to call it. If they do decide to do this, they have to ensure that they are not separating it from the PlayStation 5 hardware, or, you know, even the PSVR 2 hardware. Again, I find it weird that they're trying to intertwine the two here, but it needs to be connected and tethered to the PS5. PS5 games need to be playable on this handheld. They need to be able to scale with it. And that is maybe a little bit concerning for some people, because when you talk about some of the specific things that Sony did with the PS5, they made it so that, well, the PS5 in the long run will be able to produce results that you just wouldn't normally get with just, you know, regular off-the-shelf, non-customized parts, or if there was a lesser console attached to it. Now, we've been experiencing the PS5 with the PS4 still attached to it for a while now, and it's still going to be that way for some time. And then we could see a situation where now Sony's going to come out with a handheld that is also attached to the PS5, and that means pretty much every game that's made for the PS5 will have to take into account that handheld. I don't know. I mean, essentially what I'm saying is we could by 2024 or 2025 have Sony's equivalent of the Xbox Series S, except it's a handheld console, not a dedicated home console. That is kind of what I'm hearing with this rumor and what I'm thinking. And I do think that that would be the best way for Sony to handle it. If Sony comes out with another handheld that is in no way tethered to the PlayStation 5 and it needs its own games and its own support, it's going to fail, just like the PlayStation Vita did. And that's just the reality of it. And I'm confident that Sony is aware of that at this point in time. So that's what we have on the hardware side of things, these hardware rumors. But at this point, I'm going to let you guys make of it what you will. Let me know if you would be excited for a new handheld from Sony. And for those of you who are more technically versed, let me know in the comments, would that be possible? Would it be possible to get, say, something like Xbox Series S level of performance, or even base PS5 performance as we see it now in a handheld form factor with a customized handheld console from Sony by like 2024 or 2025? Would that be a possibility? Because that's kind of the big question I have, and I don't really have an answer to it. So be sure to let me know down below. But the final thing I want to run by you guys before we close out this video is something I wish I could have included in my video yesterday talking about Haven, but I didn't become aware of it until the video was already done and recorded. We received our first concept art image for whatever Haven is working on, this upcoming PlayStation 5 exclusive, and to me it looks like some type of high fantasy setting. This actually even looks like something I would expect to see from, say, something like Elden Ring, but I don't know that this is indicative of what we can expect with their game, because the only thing we actually know about Haven Studios' title is that it has a big emphasis on user-generated and user-created content. And to a lot of people, that sounds extremely unappealing automatically for certain reasons, because I think what most people are anticipating is just a traditional multiplayer co-op game. But again, they did make it clear that there is a big emphasis on user-created content, and it kind of reminds me of what Sony is doing with Dreams, but maybe in a very different way here. So I don't know if when I look at this image, is this just like giving us an idea of like, hey, users could create a game world or setting that looks very close to this? I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this. I kind of just wanted to show it to you guys so you can maybe give me your thoughts on, you know, what you think it might be or what it might be indicating for their game. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Again, I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Leave it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.